Imagine walking into a room full of strangers and feeling completely at ease, knowing people are naturally drawn to you. As you step forward, subtle psychological triggers begin to shape how every single person in that room perceives you. Most people believe charm is a rare trait you're born with, reserved only for extroverts and natural performers. In reality, modern behavioral research reveals a completely different truth about human connection. Likability isn't about being loud or overly energetic. It is built on tiny, consistent micro-behaviors that signal trust. When you adjust these micro-behaviors, your social interactions transform almost instantly. Today, we are exploring 5 small, science-backed habits that will instantly elevate your personal magnetism without forcing you to fake anything. Let's begin with the first behavioral shift that subtle psychological research highlights. Habit number 1, the subtle power of validation. Human beings have an intrinsic need to feel heard and acknowledged. Yet in everyday conversations, most people make a critical, subtle mistake. Instead of really listening, average listeners spend their time waiting for their turn to speak, planning their next sentence. To break this habit, you need to shift your focus completely back to the speaker. When someone finishes a thought, don't rush to reply immediately. Validate their feeling before offering your perspective. Simple phrases like "that makes total sense" or "I can see why you felt that way" create an instant emotional bridge. Psychologists refer to this as emotional validation, and it immediately lowers the other person's subconscious defenses. Once a person feels validated by you, they naturally associate your presence with comfort and emotional safety. Habit number 2, the open body benchmark. Long before you speak a single word, your body language tells a story. Subconscious evolutionary triggers cause humans to constantly evaluate whether someone is friend or foe. Crossed arms, angled away torsos, or constantly checking your phone send subtle signals of detachment or discomfort. To project immediate warmth, practice angling your heart and torso directly toward the person you are engaging with. This simple adjustment, known as fronting, signals complete attentiveness and nonverbal respect. Combine fronting with uncrossed arms, and you instantly eliminate perceived barriers between you and others. It tells the brain of the person you're speaking with, "I'm completely safe, present, and open with you right now." This brings us directly to a vocal technique that dramatically changes how your words are received. Habit number 3, the 3-second pause. In fast-paced conversations, most people react instantaneously to fill awkward silences. Fast responses often stem from anxiety, a fear that silence will make us appear uninteresting or slow. However, rushing your words lowers your perceived social authority and makes the conversation feel chaotic. When you deliberately introduce a brief pause before responding, everything changes. When someone finishes speaking, count to 2 or 3 silently before responding. Process their word before speaking. This brief pause accomplishes 2 remarkably powerful psychological effects at the exact same time. First, it demonstrates to the speaker that you deeply value their input rather than simply waiting to react. Second, it conveys composure, emotional control, and internal confidence, traits that human beings find naturally attractive. Habit number 4, contextual vulnerability. Perfection creates distance, but controlled vulnerability builds connection. We often think that appearing flawless, highly successful, and invincible makes people admire us more. In reality, endless self-promotion and a polished facade make you seem intimidating, unrelatable, and distant. Psychology calls this a pratfall effect. Small flaws actually make competent people significantly more endearing. Admitting a small mistake, sharing a past struggle, or laughing at your own minor blunder instantly humanizes you. The secret is keeping your vulnerability contextual and light, never overwhelming or self-pitying. When you show that you don't take yourself too seriously, you invite others to drop their guard around you as well. Now, let's explore the final micro-habit that locks in deep personal rapport instantly. Habit number 5, the name anchor technique. To any individual, their own name is the sweetest sound in any language. Using a person's name naturally during dialogue triggers an automatic spike in subconscious attention and warmth. When you meet someone new, repeat their name in your head immediately and use it naturally within the first minute. Instead of a simple "great to meet you," say "it's a genuine pleasure to meet you, Sarah." This small detail transforms a generic greeting into a deeply personalized and memorable moment of connection. However, balance is critical. Overusing someone's name feels manipulative and artificial. Anchor it once at the start of the interaction, once naturally in the middle, and once when saying goodbye. When done correctly, it builds an unspoken feeling of familiarity and mutual respect within minutes. Let's bring all these micro-habits together to see how they function seamlessly in a real-world scenario. Imagine entering a high-stakes networking event or a social gathering where you don't know many people. Instead of feeling anxious about how to impress everyone, you enter with an open, relaxed posture. You greet the first person you meet, using their name naturally and offering them your full attention. When they speak, you listen without interrupting. You pause for 2 seconds before responding thoughtfully. You validate their ideas before adding your own thoughts, showing authentic interest in their world. If you make a small slip-up in conversation, you laugh it off casually, showing grounded self-acceptance. Notice what didn't happen in this entire scenario. You didn't force persona or pretend to be someone else. You didn't perform, brag, or strain to be the most captivating voice in the room. Yet, every single person you interacted with left the conversation feeling valued, understood, and respected. This is the ultimate secret of true social magnetism. People forget what you said, but they never forget how you made them feel. Likability is ultimately an act of generosity, giving others the space and respect to feel seen. When you shift your focus from how can I make people like me to how can I make people feel comfortable around me, everything shifts. You no longer carry the heavy burden of constantly seeking external validation. Instead, you become a source of warmth and grounded presence in a world that is often distracted and detached. Let's recap these 5 transformation habits so you can start practicing them today. First, validate emotions before offering your thoughts, ensuring people feel truly heard. Second, keep your physical posture open and face people directly with your entire torso. Third, embrace a 3-second pause before responding, projecting quiet calm and deep respect. Fourth, share light, contextual vulnerability to prove you are human and relatable. And fifth, anchor people's names naturally in conversation to signal immediate individual value. You don't need to implement all 5 of these behaviors all at once starting tomorrow morning. Trying to overhaul your entire social style simultaneously will feel mechanical and unnatural. Instead, choose just one micro-habit that resonated most with you during this video. Commit to practicing that single habit over the next 7 days in your everyday interactions. Notice how people react to you, but more importantly, pay attention to how much calmer you feel internally. Once that micro-habit becomes second nature, return to this list and integrate the next one. Over time, these micro-adjustments compound into a permanent transformation in your social identity. You will discover that being deeply likable isn't about performing for others. It is about being completely grounded in yourself. When you are comfortable in your own skin, everyone around you naturally feels comfortable too. Which of these 5 small habits are you going to practice first? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this exploration of human behavior helpful, give this video a like and subscribe for more psychological insights. Thank you for watching. And remember, small daily choices create the foundation for extraordinary human connection.